Keyboards everywhere. Which to choose? Let's go with that one. Well, I've got it home. Let's just quickly check out what's in the box. So let's quickly open it up and see what we've got here. This is the Logitech MK545 Advanced Wireless Keyboard and Mouse. There it is. Quite lovely. Very first opening of it. Well and truly open now. Upside down, Miss Jane. There we go. The main thing is how does it feel? It's quite positive. It's a higher profile than my Microsoft one that it's replacing, but might actually be able to type properly on this. Let's check out the mouse. Oh, great. Where's the mouse? Oh, it's way down the other end. Oh, they gave me a fright. Hang on, I need a knife. Okay, now I have a knife. Let's, if you think the mouse is missing, hopefully about to show you. Ah, it's not missing. There's the little fella. Phew. That gave me a fright. Okay. Oh good, it does have a button. I was worried about that. There we go. Alright. And by the way, if you're panicking like me, thinking, where the heck is the dongle, the receiver, end of the box, there it is there. I was thinking I'd have to go back and say, it's missing a part. Whew, what a relief. This is a two-hand operation. There it is there. Phew, that's a relief. I didn't want to have to go back just for that bit. That's your receiver for the keyboard and mouse, obviously. Okay, to be continued. Well, through the magic of television, or in this case YouTube, I've waited a few months to give you a proper review of what I found about this keyboard. So let me give that to you now. Oh, Teddy's going to review the video as well. That's nice. Okay, there's a good spot. Alright, so here we go. This is a couple of months in. I really like it. There's a few features I wanted. The keyboard it replaced, excuse the dust, was one of these Microsoft low-key things. It took a while to get used to, didn't it, Teddy? Teddy said enough of that. My latest poll on my community tab was kind of biased. I was experimenting with how the world's going to all socialist governments. So in the poll, would you like to see a video about my keyboard? Instead of the normal options, I put yes, yes and yes. And surprisingly, all the answers were yes. So there we have it. That took a good while to get used to, and then of course going back to the old keystroke type of keys also took a good while to get used to again. But I like it now, I'm quite good with it. Just to compare the mouse, this is the new Logitech mouse, obviously the new Logitech keyboard. So here's the mouse that it replaced, very similar size. I actually prefer the Logitech for feel. So the very first thing I say about these that all keyboards should have if they're wireless, which is what I like, is it has a power on and power off switch on both the mouse and the keyboard. which, when you think of it, given that wireless things are constantly ready to transmit, even though it's a microscopic amount of electricity, it's electricity nevertheless. So each time you press a key, you're slowly depleting the battery charge. So turning it off, say you have your computer on 12 hours a day. Well, it's 12 hours, it's just sitting there in a standby state. So logically, being able to turn these things off will extend the life of your batteries. I know the previous keyboard I had, and I think especially this one, which was my former Microsoft keyboard, didn't have a switch, and it used to chew through batteries. The other thing I noticed about Microsoft keyboards, for some reason they only tend to last, I don't know, I get about 2 years off them. And I'm not a typist, so I'm not constantly typing, so I imagine it'd be even worse if you were. So yeah, the Logitech is really quiet, as per advertised. This is the way I like to do a keyboard test. Always have. I just drape my fingers across like this. And you can feel whether it's loose or not. Now I do not feel this is loose at all. If you go back to the Microsoft one, it's also fairly quiet, as was the previous one. You hear the clackety noise? Well, that kind of adds up when you're doing that. And of course, if you go back to the ancient ones, or ones that somebody might still use with the cords, like this Honeywell, that was a great keyboard. I remember that 20 years ago. You hear how clacky that was. Yeah, so that's the difference between the proper switch keys and the rubberized keys of the low profile ones. So as I said, this particular one suited me. It's a full-size keyboard. I'm one of these dinosaurs that still use a PC or giant computer tower. And yeah, so I like full-size. Personally, there's a few things I like to use, which this had, which narrowed down my search. A one-press button for calculator, volume up and down and mute, print screen, which I only just learnt what the purpose of in the last few years. Those are my things that I liked. And of course you've got your proper Shift-Alt control keys everywhere. So the Logitech button, yes, you can tilt the wheel side by side. I don't use that function. There's also some keys there that do things, but yeah, it had the basics that I need, the left and right button. Pressing that, which will enable you to drag the mouse down the screen, or instead roll the roller. That's what I needed and wanted. Now here's the biggest thing. When I was reviewing this keyboard as a contender for the replacement, I did find a few comments talking about problems with connectivity. Well, here's my first thing. As I pointed out, if you open the box for the Logitech, at first, unless you really look, you go, where's the receiver? And I'll use this receiver off the previous Microsoft keyboard as an example. If you're using a laptop, notepad, iPad, whatever you use, you probably won't have a problem. I mean, this just plugs into a USB port and you're pretty close to where things are. But like me, if you have a big full steel tower or aluminium tower and you plug this behind the computer into a USB port, well then you've got all that shielding between that, or I should say, between that and the mouse and keyboard. So the simple solution, and this is not generic to Logitech or any other brand, what I always do, I get a short USB cable, plug it into there, plug the other end into the back of the computer, and just stick this out the way on the desk somewhere. Then those problems are eliminated. So there's a helpful tip. So just going back, when I put up with the old problems of this one for about a year or more, but I did tear it down and clean it right out, and surprisingly it works. But yeah, I've gone with the new keyboard. Another tip too, which I hope most of you don't do, but if you're a smoker like, well, me, always watch out, because you will accumulate, if you're not careful, both dust, which you're always going to encounter, and ash that drops. So always give that a blowout, and that will slow things down before you need to take it apart and service it or replace it. But yeah, I'm really impressed with this one. I do not have any problems, so if you read any negative feedback, refer to my experience. I mean, everything is made in China. Logitech, Microsoft, the whole lot, they're made in China. The days of having, you know, made in Japan are pretty well over, and have been for some time, which is unfortunate, but it's the way it is. Yeah, so with any mass-produced product, you're always going to get the odd unit that's faulty. That's just the way it is. That's the world we live in, unfortunately. Which is probably another good reason why, in this case, I didn't buy online. Yes, sometimes you can find bargains on eBay, etc., but it can be a real problem if you have a fault to send them back. So when it comes to electronic things, I do recommend personally, although I took a risk with my phone, if you saw my review about that, that worked out quite well. I bought it directly from China. But yeah, there was a big risk. But things like this, if you find things like this and they're faulty, you simply take them back to your local store and they'll refund the item or exchange it. And that to me makes a lot more sense. It's a lot quicker, and yeah, you do generally pay a bit more if you don't buy off eBay, but yeah, the convenience for that, I say, is well worth the extra few dollars. Well, I can't think of any more criticisms that I've read. Have your batteries in there, which are just AA's. There's some batteries in here, which are also AA's. You can use rechargeables if you want, but I don't. Just use good quality energizers or lithium batteries, and yeah. They predict battery life in the Logitech is 2 years, which is pretty damn good, because on the Microsoft ones, I've actually had to replace them every 3 months, which is a bit ridiculous. Anyway, that's my review, a thorough review. That's why I waited to put this video together. That's the Logitech K545 mouse and keyboard combo, and I like it. I'm going to stick to Logitech from now on for this sort of thing. I hope you enjoyed that review as much as Teddy obviously did. Thanks, Teddy, for contributing. Teddy the vlogging cat. By the way, it's because of people like you, the ones that donate and support my channel, even if it's just by taking a few seconds to hit the little subscribe and the bell and the like. It all helps the channel, and that's very much appreciated. And when I can, I like to put any money aside that I make from YouTube back into the channel, be it for equipment or something. So I have more of that coming soon, hopefully to bring you some better quality videos. So that's very much appreciated. Okay, until the next video, goodness knows what that'll be about. Cheers, and I'll see you soon. Bye.